October, the starting of something big for crypto. So, as many people have seen, we started the month really strong, and then everything caught up with us. I'm talking about the SEC closing down, so no ETFs are being approved for cryptocurrencies, altcoins. The Clarity Act hasn't really stalled, but the U.S. Senate has been really delaying it for obvious reasons. As I said before, Senator Kennedy, the banking lobby, the banks aren't ready. The Democrats are using everything they can, especially Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer, in order to basically just make life a living hell for anybody that's involved in cryptocurrency, which is Trump's family as well. What they want to say is that when I was doing TED Talks and stuff and public speaking, a lot of people would say, listen, one thing you have to understand is you just have to do two things: rehearse the beginning, rehearse the end, start strong, finish strong, and let the middle portion take care of itself. October rather, in the same sense that even last year we were excited for a bit. October, right before the US presidential election, things didn't really pan out the way we wanted them to for most of the month. And everybody's like, where's October? Where's October? Everybody's freaking out. But what happened at the end, the last 5 days were crazy strong, going through an election. October manifested itself the last 3 days, and November was just unbelievable. One of the best months ever for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market in general. So big that people were predicting we would get to $5 trillion market cap by the end of the year. I mean, that didn't pan out the way it was supposed to, but we have to understand that this month is special. And I believe that October is just starting. Hear me out. It's the weekend, so things are going to be iffy. However, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, spent the past 48 hours talking to over 35 US senators, mostly senators probably that were on the fence, like the Democratic ones and the Senator Kennedys that are like saying, hey, we have to wait this out. And he had a smirk on his face when he was interviewed by CNBC Crypto, almost like he knew something. He's like, hey, crypto's going to be all right. We're going to have this Clarity Act done ASAP by the end of this year. And they, as cryptos are President Trump's administration, David Sachs 47 on Twitter, X, said that it'll be done by the end of this year. In my opinion, that means it's probably going to be done by the end of Thanksgiving. When they want to move fast, they move faster. If anybody remembers July, I believe that up until like the first week of July this year, we didn't really know what was happening with the Genius Act and everything. And then, oh, by the way, what's up, Yato? And remember, everybody that's coming in, like, subscribe, and share. So in July, they didn't really know what's happening until they basically said, okay, next week is gonna be a big, it's gonna be a big week for crypto. It's gonna be crypto week. And then they went ahead with all these policies, saying crypto was down there. Shout out to them, by the way. Lobbying. The Genius Act went really fast from the U.S. Senate to the U.S. House, and then President Trump's desk for signing. I believe that November we're going to have something similar, and I believe that next week, the end of October, we're gonna have some positive news with regards to the crypto market, specifically signaling that we're gonna have a very, very busy November in Washington D.C. The likes that we haven't seen since July Crypto Week, and that's gonna send the markets for the rest of the week. And remember, if the government opens, as soon as the government opens, we're gonna have them SEC, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. They're gonna move fast on removing these crypto ETFs. How do I know this? Because the government was already making the moves beforehand. The CFTC and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, they were both working together to make sure that President Trump's Clarity Act measures would be implemented before he signed them. So they're on the same mission. Remember, priority number one for the SEC, according to Paul Atkins, the SEC chair, is cryptocurrency legislation, cryptocurrency policy, making the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. Most of the staff is not working right now, but the people that are still there, that's top of mind. As we like to say, out of mind, out of sight. The opposite is true. That's all they're talking about and thinking about. As soon as they come back to full force, they're going to push these policies fast. They're going to move fast with lightning speed to both make sure the Clarity Act is implemented before it's signed by President Trump officially, and the crypto ETFs that we've been promised, the ones that we've had let lapse for the deadlines, Litecoin, Solana, XRP, those are going to get passed with lightning speed too. And don't forget, ISO 222 deadline for all banks in the US to have to migrate to the ISO 222 standard. No more SWIFT system is when? in November, November 22nd. So we're gonna have a busy, crazy month ahead. And don't get shocked if all the predictions get thrown out of the water. I've said myself, I'm not gonna make any more predictions until we have spot ETFs approved. And I'm gonna go on further. I'll make some predictions, but until we have the ISO 2022 date, November 22nd, we cannot make any predictions, realistic predictions for the rest of this year. And in addition to that, Q1 next year. All I gotta say is that things move slowly at first, and then all of a sudden, everything, the dam breaks and everything floods all at once. That being said, upwards and upwards.